What up? What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. Blood Splatter Chatter here with my brother, The Missing Link, to talk about the movie that just hit Netflix this week. Forgot what it was for a second. Until Dawn from 2025, based on the 2015, I believe, video game, loosely based from what I hear. Game that I have never played, which I assume you have, which we'll get into.
Yes.
And this one directed by David Sandberg, who did Annabelle Creation, which I still have not seen, but from what I hear, it's the best of the Annabelle movies.
Same.
And then Shazam 1 and 2, which I actually like. I like both those Shazam movies. And going into it, I didn't know that. I didn't know that he had done Shazam, but afterwards, I'm like, okay, this does seem like a dude that could do a superhero movie, ensemble cast and all that. Written by Gary Dauberman, who wrote all of the Annabelle movies, and I think he directed the last one, and he wrote The Nun. So it's kind of in that vein of like that. What is it, Blumhousey type of vein? I don't know if it is Blumhouse, but in that vein.
This is I saw this yesterday when I was watching the movie. You know how sometimes people come up with the story, then some people write the screenplay and whatever. Mm-hmm. But it said like the story helped develop by, and for all my NEG4 fans out there, there's this lady named Blair Butler.
I saw her on there too.
Yeah, I was so shocked that she was on because she's part of the video game world and she enjoys comics as well. But I was shocked to see her name in the credits for I think it said like story helped develop by Blair Butler. So that was a cool little Easter egg, I guess, for me, where I was like, oh shit, G4.
No, what did she do? What comics was she involved in?
Well, no, she was like no, she didn't write. She might have written some comics, but when she was on G4, she was like a comic correspondent where she would like review comics and stuff, or give like Maddie.
Sorry to cut. I'm just looking at this. Is one of my wife is back on days, so most of the shows I've been able to do where I'm not watching my daughter. It's one of the few shows we're doing. I can see her on camera right now. She's got a bunch of toys and she's making her way back here. So we'll see how this goes. This might be a shit show, but I really don't give a fuck. Dude, let me just say off the bat, I did end up watching this twice. Like I said, I haven't played the video game. This is kind of getting shit reviews. It's got like a 50% on Rotten Tomato and a not so great IMDb score. Madison, sweetie, I'm really busy. I need you to go watch your cartoons. This is gonna be a mess. But I watched it the first time and I enjoyed it enough. I'm kind of checked out by the end, and I think my biggest complaint is that like it just, I don't know, it just like dries up towards the end, and it's just like a lot of the same stuff. And the characters, although everyone's everyone's acting fine, just like there's just something missing about everyone. Everyone does have a little tiny thing, but just not enough of a hook to really make me connect with any of them.
That's my general, like, this movie was a weird one for me because it's like, I get the people not being so keen on it, the bad reviews, but at the same time, it's like, it's a video game. It's based off a video game. You know, how many, let's look at the track record for live action movies based off of video games and how many of them actually succeed. Not many, but this one, there were certain aspects where it did work. Kind of towards the end, so going into this, I was like, it's not really connected to the movie. They have a character that's in the games, but it's not really part of I didn't know how much of what his role is going to be in this movie. But the end of the movie is kind of like setting up the beginning of the game, or it could
really
like that.
What's the game? Like you've played it, I assume, right?
Yes.
What is Jesus Christ? Not only do I have my daughter in here, my wife is now calling me 3 times. It's like, I told you I'm starting the show at 1:30. What's the premise of the game?
So it's like a werewolf tale. You're a bunch of friends that go out to this cabin and shit. And it's supernatural, but I feel like it's more mystical in a sense in the game than this one. It's just like supernatural. Like they try to explain it, the mysticism or the supernaturalness in the game a little bit more. And here it's just like take it or leave it, there's really not too much explanation.
Did you say werewolf? Did I hear you? Or maybe I misheard you.
Yeah, werewolf.
It's a werewolf game. We didn't get any werewolves in this movie, right?
That's what I was saying. Like, it was there's some cool things they took from the game, but at the same time, it's like you know, because okay, it's kind of reminds me of Cabin in the Woods, which I love that movie. You know, this is like a weak version of Cabin in the Woods. Long story short, you know,
Kinda,
like
yeah.
but it's like when they were doing the montage of all the different creatures, which was one of the highlights when they're going through the video footage.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to how much sense that makes. But it's like that would have been a perfect time to implement like some werewolves, like a shout out to the game or something like that. But they didn't. So I was a little confused by that one. But I don't know. I get what you mean. Like everyone's fine, but no one's really a character. No one like everyone's acting fine, but I don't really think anyone's got a distinct personality that beyond a cliche. Like they're all kind of cliches. The reason, like, it's not scary, but then once again, this is based off a video game. You know, this is a weird film for me because there's so many things that clearly I like when first killer happens, right? Kills, you know, they're in the kitchen and the three of them are hiding. That's like a shout out to the video game where you have to like the werewolf will be searching for you and you have to keep your controller still or you have to hit like X at the right time at like quick time events. And if you make a noise, like the creature will turn his head and see you, kill you. And so like that scene was reminiscent of indicative of the games, but then there's so many turns where it's just like it would have been wiser to honor the game more, but they're like, no, we're gonna try to do our own thing. So it's a peculiar movie for me, man. I enjoyed it just because based on this being a video game, I think this could have been way, way worse than what it turned out to be. Like
I believe
it's entertaining.
Dude, I'll say like I said, I watched it twice. The first time, I don't know, I'm a little bit weird when I watched the movie the first time. I'm trying to figure out what it is. And part of it was that I had heard going in, it keeps switching horror genres. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I'm keeping an eye out for that. It starts out, I'm like, okay, we're in a slasher movie. And then the next bit that we get is like, okay, I thought it was a ghost story, but then I'm like, oh no, it's a witch. Similar kind of things, doing witchy stuff. And then after that, it becomes less like clear what genre we're in, and which is fine, but I was expecting like this certain structure. So then when we didn't get that, I was a little bit thrown off. But I will say this: we don't cover a lot of like jump scare movies on the channel because they're not like as interesting to talk about. You know what I mean? They're fun popcorn movies. When I'm looking for movies for us to cover, it's not just like, oh, that'll be a fun one for us to watch. I need like there's a movie. Oh fuck it, I'll just say what it is. Like Robbie's going to be announcing the entire Horror Fest lineup on Pop Culture Philosophers, Rockin' Robbie Live tonight, and I had picked a movie, The Autopsy of Jane Doe. Have you seen it by chance?
It sounds familiar. When did it come out?
It's cool. It was like 2015. It's just this father and son doing an autopsy on this body. Chaos ensues. But I put it on the list just because I remember like me and my wife watching it, enjoying it, and liking it. And be like, yeah, that'll be a fun one for us to watch. So I'm like, let me watch it again before I make it an official pick. And I watched it. And I really enjoyed it. But I just kept on thinking, like, how much is there to really talk about this movie? And that tends to be, I think that's a better movie than this one, like by a lot. But it's like, the movies that have a lot of jump scares in them, they're not going to be as layered and as deep and as intricate of plots and everything. And that's the fun stuff to talk about, I think, more than anything, rather than just like, bro, because like what we could do with this movie, I'd be like, hey, dude, how about that part where that dude exploded? Like, fuck yeah. And that's really just montages. As deep as it goes.
Yeah. Like it's like pick your favorite. It's like really because of the lack of like, they don't really give you too much like. There's certain, I don't know, that's what bothers me because there's certain things that they could have spent a little more time on, like expand upon the backstory between the sisters, you know, like show a little bit more of their rapport, like, because it's like, I'm kind of with one of the dudes, he was like, you know, he had said something along the lines of like, you know, I just met you guys, but I'm a psych major. This is, you know, he said he was a psych major. He was like, no, I got to say, this isn't really healthy. Like, to the audience, it makes no sense as to why she's road tripping across the country trying to find her missing sister either, you know, like because we don't have there's a lack of context.
We just watched something else recently where it's like there's a handful of movies that are like this, like, oh, we're trying to find this person, or this is all because of this person. But it's like when we don't have any connection to that person, it's way harder to get into it. Like if the movie does like somewhat smartly so opens with the sister, the girl that they're looking for, but it's nothing. We don't even get a line from her. We just have her crawling out of this hole. And that's, by the way, is that part of the game? Like the hand going, because they showed that the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, I wonder if that's part of the game. I wonder if that's part of the game.
I haven't played that since like it's been like 6 years. I don't remember that being part of the game. I could be wrong, but that was in the. I felt like that was in there a few times. I don't know.
Right.
It might have been.
How is the game, by the way? Do you remember? Like, is it a cool? I assume it's a good game.
Oh yeah, no, I enjoy it. It's like, you ever heard of the Walking Dead game, where it's like you pick your own. It's so they're.
I can't think if I played it or not.
You know, like those games are they're like more interactive stories where you can pick your dialogue option, and it's like you can choose. It's essentially what it is, but it just presents itself as way more cinematic than some of those story-driven games. Like it's like a mini movie it's an interactive mini movie. That Until Dawn, I will say, when the first time I played it, I was like, bro, I felt like I was like, that's such a cool little gem. Like I felt like I had played. I was like, it's a interactive horror movie, you know, like not depending on who plays, your choices give you different, and like there's multiple endings. So it's like you and I could play the same game and get completely different storylines. Cool. Like, you know, there's 7 characters. 7 of the characters could, depending on your choices, could survive to the end. All of them could die by the end, depending on your choices. You know,
but it's definitely. It's not like this, where it's like you're repeating the same night. It's nothing like that. Which is, by the way, throw it out there, that is the premise of this one. They make a joke. They're like, oh, so it's kind of like that movie, where basically in this, every time you die, as long as everybody else dies that you're with, you all respawn, right? And they even respawn in different spots, like it would be in a video game, which I kind of like. They just show that the one time. But what do you think? What do you think they were referencing when they say like that movie? You think they're talking about Groundhog's Day? Because they're like, oh, a bunch of movies do that. Like, I can't think of any other besides there's Groundhog's Day and Happy Death Day. I'm sure there are other ones.
I think Groundhog's Day, because that's got to be the most that's the most pop culture irrelevant. I think like them respawning it was kind of like a homage to the multiple choices in the game. Like in the game, you can make multiple choices and it leads you to different outcomes. I guess I feel like that was like a spiritual success, like a spiritual theme for that. Like they would respawn every night, but like the outcome was different. You know, depending on the choices you make, you might make it to the end until dawn, or you might die. So it did. And then when I seen it in a trailer, I was like, that's not part of the game, but it felt very like video gamey to me. So it didn't bother me too much, because this is based off a video game. So that's kind of like a cool shout out to that.
That was kind of exactly, like it felt like there's other games that are based on video games that like you actually feel like you are in a video game.
Yes.
Right. And also by the end of it, you almost feel like, oh, now they could make another Until Dawn and base that on this movie. Because the movie would make a good video game, and from what I hear, it's different enough. But
that's a good point.
I will actually say the second time that I watched it, and it is just like a turn your brain off kind of and try to enjoy it movie. The second time I watched it, again, I'd seen these characters before, so I could connect to them a little bit more.
A little bit, yeah.
But I actually enjoyed it for what it was. I thought like 4 or 5. Again, we don't watch a lot of jump scare movies. And I was got by about 4 or 5 of these jump scares. Like they were really good. And then the practical effects, I was really surprised and impressed that they did practical effects. You would think with the audience that this is probably aiming towards is not the type of audience that would really care about CG. They're not the type that would be bitching about it. So for them to do as much,
it shows an air of respect that they can. That's what I'm saying. Like you can tell that this is a commercialized movie, but there's certain aspects where you can like they went a little above and beyond for this aspect of the movie. Like you said, like the makeup and shit. Like they could have easily been a CGI fest, way more cost effective.
Easily. It's shockingly that it wasn't that. Like if this was made I feel like we're getting a little bit more into practical, like more people are doing it. If this was made 6 years ago, I think it would have been all CG. And the movie would have sucked. The movie would have sucked. Like I thought it looked awesome. Like the Wendigos, like the actual like monsters look so fucking cool. Like you tell it was a man in an entire makeup suit.
What was your favorite jump scare? I'm curious if we have.
Fuck, I mean, I was thinking this because a lot of times, especially on a second watch, I'll take like diligent notes as I'm going through the movie, and like I didn't, and I was even thinking to myself, like, I wonder how well I'll remember any of these goddamn jump scares. So I don't remember too many, but I'll tell you one that I liked right off the bat, one that pops in my head. I thought this was really cool. Right when the movie opens up, it didn't get me the first time, it got me the second time that I watched it. She's doing this deep breathing exercise. And she's like, take a deep breath. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to go with her. I'm going to take these breaths. It's like, I went with it. Like, breathe in, breathe out. It's like 3 or 4 in a row. Then you get a car horn or a bus horn, I think. And that actually like scared the shit out of me. There was a bunch. What about you? There's a couple more that I'm thinking of, but what about you?
One that I found really unsettling, like I had to rewind it just because I was like, why did that bother me so much? Was
I wonder if I know what it is.
The video montage clips. And they're going down a hall and they open a door and it's this, yes, bro, bro,
that was crazy.
I got so fucking scared. Yes.
Same, dude. Same. I was like, what the fuck? I like the big tall guy, right?
Yep.
There's a scene that I feel like this was almost maybe homage or maybe it's just a similarity to, but It Follows, which is one of the few movies that came out in the last 20 years that you haven't seen. But there's a scene in It Follows where there's just this really big guy coming down a hallway that just looks like insanely big, and he has to lean his head through the door. It's like the scariest part of that movie too. So isn't that weird? Like there's certain things and it's like, why did that scare me? You know what I mean? Like why? What was it about that was so effective? I also find, and like I said, like last night I watched this on my iPad with the headphones, iPad right there, which I think a lot of times is like the best way to watch a movie. You know what I mean? I got
you're immersed.
Big old iPad. It's right there. I'm way into it. But I will kind of, with movies like this, sometimes like feed into it. Like try to like lean into the scare. Like you can like kind of play along with it to a degree and make it a little bit more scary. And I think I did that more effectively last night. When I watched it the first time, I'm watching it and I've got my kid over here watching Bluey, and in the background I'm hearing, you know what I mean? Like it's hard to get scared when you're hearing your little girl giggling next to you watching Bluey. So I'm glad I got the rewatch. And I don't know. I don't think it deserves, well, I don't know if I should say that. Like, I don't think it should be getting the hate that it's getting. I think a certain percentage of the hate is from lovers of the video games, but I think it's better than a lot of the jump scare type movies, the movies that it's more similar to. It's more like you said, it's appreciating horror. It's like a love letter to the horror genre in general. Like it's cool. I think it's a decent movie, and I could also see it being some horror fans like favorite horror movie. You know what I mean? Like a young kid is gonna love the shit out of this, maybe. Oh boy, am I froze or are you froze? Oh, hey, Link's doing the bit. I'm hoping that's you doing the bit and not me. My internet seems to be working. I don't know.
Me. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
it was me. It was me. I was like, what the fuck? Is Bruno doing the bit? My bad. Yeah, my Wi-Fi took a shit on me.
No, it's all good. But what you got any other favorite moments or just favorite characters? What was your favorite like bit of the movie?
Let me think on that real quick. But I wanted to say that I do agree this movie does deserve its criticism, but I think a lot of people who are calling like this movie's getting some really bad scores, and it's not deserved the scores it's getting. It's not a great movie, but it's not terrible either.
Totally.
I don't know if people have ever seen this movie called A House of a Thousand Corpses. That is a terrible fucking movie. That's based off a video game as well. No,
hold on. I think you got it wrong.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about, but
not the Rob Zombie House of a Thousand Corpses, but House of the Dead. House of the Dead is what I meant to say. My bad. House of a Thousand Corpses, badass movie actually.
Okay.
But yeah, House of the Dead is a video game that came out, or a video game movie that came out like 2002, 2003, but it's based off of an arcade shooter. And that movie is shit. I don't if that's a shit movie. I don't know. It's like with people got to really, I don't think people have seen enough when they're calling something like this is mid. It's serviceable. Mid. It's not amazing. Yeah, it's
Right. It's
but
entertaining. It's a popcorn flick. Like if me and the wife went to the theater and saw this, I think we would have fun. You know what I mean?
yes,
And that says
yeah,
a lot. There's not every movie has to be something that like is fucking changing your life and like really making you think. Like it doesn't have to be
yeah,
like that. I don't know. Like I said, if they didn't do the practical effects, I would probably feel quite a bit different about it. But and there wasn't a single character that I thought was a bad actor or that just sucked. It just wasn't any really good characters either. That was the biggest thing. If they would have gave us one main character that was really solid and that we could connect to, the one girl that is the main character, there's nothing distinct about her that makes her stand out from the rest of the cast, and everybody's got brown hair, which I thought was interesting. It was kind of like it was easy to mix them all up. As I see you're doing the bit again, we've officially lost Link. Madison, I need a co-host. Can you come in here? Oh no, I was joking. She heard me, and she really is coming. All right, so Link is officially gone. He's having internet problems, but that's all right. I feel like I've pretty much said my piece on this thing. To be perfectly honest with you, folks, it's not that deep of a film. Madison, would you like to say some words? Hey yo! So Maddie Rose in the house. We're both rocking tie dyes. We made these tie dyes ourselves. Hers has a heart on it. We'll get that later. But honestly, I'm just gonna wrap this bitch up. I'm gonna give it my score. If Link ends up back in here before I wrap it up, Maddie, keep it down, baby. Then we'll get his score. If not, we'll give it to you when we do Blood and Black Lace on Thursday night. Speaking of, this is what we'll be covering on Thursday night. Continuing our Road to Halloween series, week 3 of the evolution of the slasher genre, covering the slashers and proto-slashers and giallo films that help pave the road to John Carpenter's Halloween. So, as I said, if you guys watch Rockin' Robbie Billups over on Pop Culture Philosophers, on his live show tonight, he will be announcing the entire Horror Fest lineup, including the greatest Horror Fest lineup of all time. Of all time! And that's the shit that is coming off of this channel right here. It's fire. There's so much heat on my Horrorfest lineup and Robbie's and Fables. And I don't think Dylan's got his shit in yet. So I don't think you're gonna get that. But let's go ahead and rate this bitch and get up out of here, bro. Unless you have anything else to add, which I know I don't.
No, yeah, this is it's not perfect. Like you said, this is a movie that's gonna change your life. But I do think that there's some enjoyment to be had here, and there's potential for them to develop this further. Like I said, there's a lot of fun in this film. It reminded me of I said it wasn't as good as Cabin in the Woods, but the fact that it even reminds me of Cabin in the Woods, I give it credit because I don't know why. I mean, you'd think that after that movie came out that we would have seen plenty of ripoffs because the concept, but really nobody's touched that concept since then. So
it's so hard. It's hard to do something that well, right? Because it's well written.
True, that is true.
You're gonna write another Cabin in the Woods? Good luck. You better be a real writer.
But yeah, I think you said it perfectly, like earlier, because it's like I noticed that about the characters. Like none of these actors are bad. I'm just not. There's really no character there for us to connect with the audience. Story's is kind of thin. And the ending, I would have shaved off about 15-20 minutes because it's like towards the end when she's like, I got you guys into this. I'm going to get you out. And that whole thing that after that I'm like, it kind of is a waste of time.
Right. Because we've already done so much of the same thing. We needed like a change of set. You know what would have been cool and would have covered both of our problems? Get us out of the house a little bit more. They have that one little dream sequence with her sister. Say like, they have some shared trauma in their past from their childhood. And that's what she's working out the whole time. And she's continuing to have these flashbacks with her sister. You know what I mean? And have the sister, like the sister is a monster in the movie. Have that, like, make me feel something when I see the sister. Like, they see the sister, they're like, she's scary. It's like, hold on, that's your sister. Like, there should have been more there. They instantly, like, oh, she's going to be mean to us. Like, fuck her. They even say that. I think, and, like, the one guy's like, hey,
that she's a bitch.
Fuck you. And then he blows up.
Oh, yeah.
With his sister and shit.
The exploding water.
They could have spent that was great. And I actually really like the way that they killed, spoiler, that they get the Dr. Hill at the end, which is my daughter's pediatrician, now that I think about it, Dr. Hill. But I thought that was pretty good. Like they're just scooting the water over so you get the drips in there to blow them up. And I know him from so many things. What the
Big
hell? I looked him
Lebowski,
up.
yeah.
Yes. What else
He's
is
the
he in?
nihilist.
Oh, I had him right here. Good look. You know who let me ask you this. We've said the cast wasn't great before we rate this. There's one to me that is kind of stand out above everybody else in the cast. But I'm curious if it would be the same for you. Is there one that kind of sticks out, or at least is just more memorable, or that is a little bit cooler?
I'd say the two that I'd say the two that bothered me the most were the main girl and her wannabe boyfriend, you know?
Yeah, the kind
But
of dick guy, the one that kind of turns a little bit, not bad, but he's more selfish than the rest of them. At one point, he's like, "Fuck
him,
it." Well, maybe I'm wrong. That was another
the
thing.
tall
Like,
dude.
who is the boyfriends? Who is in a
Okay, so
relationship with who? That was a little bit less clear than it could have been in this movie.
the tall dude was dating the chick with the curly hair, the best friend, and
curly hair was my favorite. I thought she was cool.
You know, I felt like I'd seen her in something. I couldn't put my fucking finger on it. Like she's got one of those, like the chick. She reminded me of the chick from the new Hellraiser movie too.
Same, bro. Yes, I thought that the whole time.
Okay,
I thought it the whole time.
But I want to say this. You know what? I'd say that the boyfriend.
She's in Hellraiser, bro. That has got to be her.
That's her, yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
she looks different. I like her.
She does. It's longer hair, I think.
Longer hair. She grew her hair out since then, and then she looks a little prettier in this than she looked in Hellraiser. I love her hair. I'll just say that. There's something about curly hair with bangs, like thick curly hair with bangs. That's a good look. Like I think she looks like really, really cool. It's not like it's like super sexy look. It's just a cool ass look.
It's very casual. Like she just go with the flow. But I will. All right. So the boyfriend that wanted to date the main girl, I will say he started off as annoying, but towards the end, he kind of redeemed himself. Like his annoying, he was kind of a pest earlier on, but I'd say like he was the only one trying to really be a hero. You know, he was trying to make sure he saved. He wanted everyone to live. He wanted to make sure he got his girl out. So I will say he kind of warmed up to me, but I did kind of like the psychic chick. I wish they would have done more with her, but that's another element where I'm like, all that psychic shit was introduced, but not to pick on it, but it goes nowhere. You know,
they didn't do much with it. They had the kind of cool scene where she was pointing at all the different missing pieces or missing persons thing and doing their voice, which was kind of cool. But you're right, there wasn't much there other than like, I don't know. It's kind of weird to put a psychic in the movie just for a few little bits.
But all right, I beat around the bush. Let me get to the review. I will honestly give this one. You know what? I think it's a 3. Honestly, it's but I will give this one. This is generous. 3.5, just because I enjoyed it way more. I didn't think I was kind of like video game movie, and I had tried to watch this a few times earlier, and I couldn't really get into it. Like there was like the first 20 minutes, I just was like, and it's because if you can't get over that hump of okay, you got to get over. There's gonna not really be any. It's a weak story, I was kind of like, like I gotta go through all this bullshit of these people pretending to bond, and like she cares about her sister, but the audience isn't given a reason for us to care about that situation. Like all these going through the motions just to get to the good shit. But once you make it past that hump, it's entertaining, and it's I don't know what I was expecting this is based off a video game. This was formulated for how this is a fan base and we could get money off this. How can we make, it's like how Michael Bay makes his movies. He comes up with the action scenes and then comes up with writes the story around those action scenes. That's how this movie was made. So the fact that it's even mildly entertaining, I got to give it credit for that. It could have easily, once again, people, if you have not seen it, go watch House of the Dead. That's a terrible video game movie, horror at that. And this is not that. 3.5, generous 3.5.
Because I like what you said. You're like, it's probably a 3, and that's pretty much where I'm at. I won't be as generous as you. I'll give it a 3.25 for the practical effects.
Hell yeah,
that was the big thing, and it's just like and the jump scares, man. Like you know what I mean. People, they're not a respected thing. Jump scares don't get a lot of respect. but it's still not the easiest thing to do. Oh, I thought of another one that was really good. I thought they're looking through like a hole in a door, and I think it's the sister turned Wendigo, the one they're looking for. She's way in the distance, and like you're looking at her, and she like walks this way, and then right after she does, bro, there's Wendigo jumps you right in the face. Yeah. And there's a bunch of them. There's quite a few that actually got me, so I'll give it the credit for that. I don't think we watch enough of these jump scare movies. We need to throw a few more, like Insidious. Like that's another one that I remember being like a really fun movie to watch with people and just, you know, a good clean fun. But as I said a little bit ago, Blood and Black Lace. This coming up Thursday night. Be there, be square. Mr. Rock and Robbie Billups from Pop Culture Philosophers will be here hanging out with me, Link, and Stu, and continuing our Road to Halloween series with our first Giallo film. This is the first ever horror movie with a masked killer with a knife that I could think of. I was sitting there thinking, like, is this the first? And I tried to look it up. I didn't preface AI. I said, hey AI, what's the first horror movie with a masked killer? And they're like, probably Blood and Black Lace. I was like, hell yeah. So that's cool.
Are we
pretty nice.
Are we still in the 60s around this time, or have we hit the 70s?
65, baby. We're still creeping our way up to the 70s. We're doing a lot of old movies. I'm telling you, man, I wish more people will go back and watch Peeping Tom. I think it's such an underseen movie that I don't think that review is going to do dick, but it's like 1960 Peeping Tom. A lot of people are just going to pass. It's worth a watch. Go check it out and go check out our review on it. I
agree, and go watch the movie. I think the problem is like, so not even many people know of the movie. Like, you know, that was, you informed me. That was a homework learning lesson for me. I was like, oh shit, there's a movie that came out before Psycho that was like on the like kind of like Psycho. You know, it's like you know, Psycho is looked as like this pioneer, and it is in the movie film industry, but to know that there is you know how studios would kind of do things, come out with like the same year, like Batman versus Superman or Civil War, like it's superheroes versus the studio have a similar theme. So the fact that, you know, that movie Peeping Tom was debatably the first, it came out before Psycho, you know, that's wild. It doesn't get enough credit, and it is, I think it is the fact that not enough people know about that movie. Like it's crazy that Scorsese is like touted that movie, and it's still like this very hidden gem. Like I think it's a super hidden gem. But definitely worth watching though. Like the conversation.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, I love that conversation. But all right, let's get about this bitch again. Blood and Black Lace Thursday night, and we'll see you guys next time. Where's our button? Where's my button? Ah, there it is.